In this video, I want to have a look at simple interest. So simple interest is when interest is calculated on the principal or the initial amount. So flat rate loans are calculated using simple interest. On your formula sheet, you have this written. So simple interest formula is I equals PRN, where I is the interest, P is the principal or the initial amount, R is the rate, but it has to be expressed as a decimal, and N is the number of time periods. So let's have a look at an example. So it says Lindsay borrowed $25,000 for 6 years at 7% per annum flat interest to buy a new car. Part A asks us how much interest Lindsay will pay over the 6 years. So we're going to use our formula. So for part A, we're going to have I equals PRN. So we're trying to find the interest. Our principal is at $25,000. Our rate is 7%. 7% as a decimal is 0.07. And our time period, so our N, is that 6 years. It's really important to make sure that our rate and our number of time periods are in the same units. So in this, 7% is per annum or per year, and we've got years as well. If it's not, we need to convert them to something. If we put that in our calculator now, we'll end up with $10,500. So she ends up paying $10,500 interest on top of the $25,000 she already owes. So that leads us into part B, which says how much will Lindsay repay in total. So total will be the initial $25,000 that she borrowed plus that $10,500 interest. So if we add those together, we end up at $35,500. Part C then asks us how much will her monthly repayments be. So if she's got to pay this $35,500 back over 6 years, and she's going to pay it back in monthly installments, we need to figure out how much each of those things are going to be. So her repayments are going to be that $35,500 divided by the number of months in 6 years. So divided by 6 times 12. So we need to put this in brackets to make sure it's doing what we want it to do. And if we figure that out, if we round to the nearest 2 decimal places, because we're talking about money, we'd have $493.06. So she's paying back that much every month to pay back the loan for her new car. So that's just one example of how simple interest is used to calculate things with flat rate loans.